Well, the Chicago Bulls have lost out on one of their final candidates, and that is Sean Sweeney. Now, if you watch today's episode of Chicago Bulls Central, I kind of alluded to this. A source had leaked something out to me, but we're going to talk about it all and more right after this. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, make sure you guys hit that subscribe. I'm trying to get to 50,000 subscribers, and we can only get that done if y'all hit the subscribe button. Some of y'all been freeloading. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But with that said, I want to make this clear that I called this, if you guys were in the Chicago Bulls Central Discord, I know I used to be in the Bulls HQ Discord a lot. I focused on growing my own Discord. If you guys were in the Chicago Bulls Central Discord yesterday at about 12:30 p.m., I said that a source had leaked this to me. So this is not a surprise. I've seen somebody already say that this came out of nowhere. This did not come out of nowhere. For those that are in the Discord, y'all know I told y'all that this was going to happen. I even mentioned it a little bit on today's daily episode when the Sean Sweeney topic came up because I wanted to talk about a lot of Bulls fans thinking that the Bulls hadn't announced their coach because it was going to be Sean Sweeney. I had said that a little birdie had leaked to me that the Orlando Magic were probably going to be announcing Sean Sweeney as their head coach in there. So this is not a surprise. This is something that, I had got leaked yesterday. Again, it is what it is. Some things are right, some things are wrong. It is what it is when it comes down to that one. But, kind of just expected this to happen. And this is for a lot of Bulls fans. They were really hopeful that this was going to be the guy, that the Chicago Bulls brought in, that this is the guy that they hired, and it just wasn't meant to be. And that's the end of the day. And that's the benefit of what the Chicago Bulls have done here. They have brought in a number of candidates that all make sense for the Chicago Bulls. They all make sense for the Bulls. So I'm not at the point where I'm like, oh my God, how could you possibly miss out on Sean Sweeney this, Sean Sweeney that? Listen, there are always going to be other head coaching jobs open. And despite, what some of the more homers would tell y'all, the Chicago Bulls are not the best option out there. They are an option, and I think they're a really good situation. Before somebody like Sean Sweeney, who was in the midst of trying to get to the NBA Finals with his current team, a team like the Orlando Magic that are more so ready to go, that have been a playoff team for the last few years, it kind of makes sense for where Sean Sweeney is. It makes sense for where the Orlando Magic are. That they would, and we don't know. For all we know, the Orlando Magic could have needed to make him the highest paid coach to get this done. We don't really know in regards to that. But hey, they get it done. Shout out to them for getting a coach. Sean Sweeney is a great head coaching candidate. I'm not going to try to act like all of a sudden, because he's not going to be the Chicago Bulls head coach, that he's any less of a great candidate. He is an amazing candidate for the next head coach and somebody who's long overdue for getting this job. He's dynamic, he's creative, but the benefit of what the Chicago Bulls have done here is that they have went out and gotten guys that are all very strong in what they do, all very strong candidates as an alarm. That's supposed to be the alarm. I'm supposed to be taking a nap right now. That was my nap alarm. The Bulls have built a really good candidate list, and I think that's all you can do as a head coach, is that you can get all the great candidates here and then interview those candidates and make a decision. And so Sean Sweeney made the best decision for him. Now the Chicago Bulls get to pivot. Chris Quinn is still an option. Dave Bliss is still an option. It's funny that two of the guys that we had on the board were facing off against each other. Dave Bliss is still an option. Johnnie Bryant is still an option. Micah Norrie is still an option, right? Tiago Splitter is still an option. All these guys are still options out here for the Chicago Bulls. And now we just get to see which route they're going to go with it. And I'm excited for it. I'm still excited about who could be the next head coach of the Chicago Bulls, because I think there are a lot of really good options out there and a lot of guys that are really going to help get this team out of the hell that we've been in, help develop these players. And, all the guys that we had on the list were all really good development guys, all had a mindset with development, all brought some history and stuff like that. So I think the Bulls are in a really damn good spot, and that's really what I want to see. The list got reviewed. Who we're interviewing? You're asking that, so we're interviewing Chris Quinn, who is the current lead assistant with the Miami Heat. Dave Bliss, he's an assistant with the OKC Thunder. Johnnie Bryant, who's currently with the Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe, as an assistant there. Tiago Splitter, he was the interim head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, is also on the list as well. And Micah Nori, the lead assistant with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So those are the list of guys that we know. It'll be interesting to see if any other guys are added to this list as it comes down. But the biggest thing that comes out of this, and I'm going to say this again, Vaughn, tell them in the comment section. Get in the Chicago Bulls Central Discord. Get in that Discord because I released this. Y'all would have known this a whole 24 hours ahead of time if you were in the Chicago Bulls Central Discord. Vaughn, if you still watching, put a link to the Discord in the chat so they can join the Discord. Y'all join the Chicago Bulls Central Discord anytime. Anything that I get a lot of stuff leaked to me that I don't feel comfortable running with because I don't want to be you never want to be the main story. I don't want to be the guy that people are like, hey, Haize, is Haize lying? Haize is lying. Don't believe Haize. And then it comes out as true. And I go, I told you all, you motherfuckers. But the stuff that I get that I don't feel comfortable running with on a podcast, I put in the Discord. So if you want to hear some of the things, there's some stuff I leaked in the Discord today in regards to the draft and in regards to trying to get an additional first-round pick. This came from the same source that leaked the Sean Sweeney going to the Magic thing to me yesterday. So, again, but all sources are to be taken with a grain of salt because he's getting information. My source is getting information from people around the league. Some of that information can be right. Some of it cannot be right. So, that's what it comes down to. But if you want to have a more direct path to the things that I hear that I don't necessarily feel comfortable doing a breaking news video with, you want to be in that Discord. You want to be in there and you want to be able to hop on with us and, talk about all things Chicago Bulls with us because that's what we do in there. So if y'all want to be in the Discord, y'all want to get some early information, some early possibility of information because I never say it as it's 100% truth. And they'll tell you that in the Discord. Even yesterday when we heard the Sean Sweeney thing, I made sure that I pointed out, hey, take this with a grain of salt. It could be wrong. It could be right. But I'll be trying to do right by my people, and I'll be wanting y'all to know what's going to happen. So, but you all know, Chris Quinn is my guy anyway. Chris Quinn is my guy anyway. I love Chris Quinn. I think he's a guy that deserves to be in there. How reliable? If I was going to tell you who my source was, I would say the name, and I wouldn't say that I have a source. So, no, I'm not going to release my source. But my source has been right on some things and wrong on some. So this is the same source that gave me the Zach LaVine trade a week early. I didn't have the exact details of the trade, but I did know that he was going to go to the Kings about a week early. They told me the Ayo Dosunmu trade literally about 4 hours before it went down. They told me the Ayo Dosunmu trade, the exact trade, and I wanted to wait till that happened. But some things that they've been wrong on, because they have been wrong on some things. So, for example, one of the things that my source was wrong on was the Chicago Bulls moving up in last year's draft. They told me they were going to move up in last year's draft. We didn't, but maybe that's because that's because Modest fell. I don't know, right? So there's been some things I've been right about, some things I've been wrong about in regards to that. But hey, when it all shakes out, that's where we are right now, and I'm not mad at it. It is what it is, man. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen with it. We'll hopefully keep developing. And at this point, Chris Quinn he was already my favorite. Chris Quinn was already my favorite option. So I hope that it continues and that Chris Quinn ends up getting the job. I like Chris Quinn a lot. Y'all all know that Chris Quinn has been my guy. I've been bringing him up for 3 years. He's been my guy. So I would expect to hear we're gonna hear maybe some final interviews, maybe some in-person interviews, some stuff like that. But that's what it can get to. So overall, I'll say this: join the Discord. If you want to know what I know, join the Discord. But I will say this: if you join the Discord and you start posting the stuff I put in there as, hey, Haize said that the Bulls are going to draft XYZ, I will kick you out of the Discord. So when I leak y'all information, that's just between family. Don't go out there and be like, hey, Twitter, Haize said that Sean Sweeney's going to get hired, because I will block your ass. So there you go on that one. Come in with it with some caution there. But the Bulls miss out on Sean Sweeney. They now get to pivot towards their other guys, and we're going to see what's going to happen in regards to that. But that's it. I'm not going to belabor the point. we'll go do a longer live stream once we have actual Bulls news. This is just for a lot of Bulls fans over the last week have really thought that the Bulls are holding on announcing a head coach because Sean Sweeney was going to be the guy. He's not going to be the guy. Now the Bulls get to move on. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 50,000 subscribers. We can only do that with you guys. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Some of you think you're subscribed, but you're not because I'm in your algorithm because I post every single day. But you can follow us at Bull Central Pod. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. BullCentralPod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that is thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See you right if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.